Halo Infinite may release much sooner than we all think, and new Halo Infinite skins confirmed, and what this means for armor customization and skins, and much more in-depth discussion and analysis on the ex-spartan hunter confirmed to be hunting down Master Chief in Halo Infinite's campaign and running into him in gameplay, and how he might be an Arbiter reboot. So many exciting things to recap, but first, be sure to smash that like button blue, as every like helps boost my content up the Halo search result and help support me as a content creator. Thanks so much, let's jump into it. This video is supported by Audible. Snag yourself a free Halo audiobook right down in the description below. So let's get to the juicy Halo news first. So this first segment isn't super new, somehow it slipped under my radar, my bad. Anyway, Monster Energy got a partnership with Halo Infinite and Microsoft, and you may have seen these cans for yourself, Halo Infinite themed monster cans. Not terribly surprising, now we just need Dorito Halo bags. But if you ever see a Halo themed something in a store, buy it, because more than likely it is connected to some kind of promotion, and it may have actually given us a clue as to the release date of Halo Infinite, but also how the customization will work in Halo Infinite, as well as new confirmed in-game exclusive skins. And these cans, they actually have double XP boost to be used in gameplay, multiplayer gameplay. So one can equals one game of double XP, and apparently you can buy so many of these you can get up to 60 hours of double XP, and for the rest of the year, players that bank up to 30-minute double XP boost are entered in a sweepstake of prizes, and encoded on each can you get this neat Snapchat filter that changes every month, which is just really cool. Now, I hope I'm not sounding like a spokesperson. I'm not being paid to talk about this or advertise it. Unfortunately, it's just kind of connected to news, so their promotion is really working here. But you can save your receipts by going to their site and following the instructions. I'll leave the Xbox blog post down below, but there's some really cool prizes. But let's talk about the skins and gameplay customization. So the first one I want to talk about is the battle rifle, which we got a little look at in gameplay. So we already know that the BR is coming back, and considering that the game is sort of like a spiritual reboot, it makes sense that the BR would be in the game. Of course it would be in the game, right? These are all nicknamed Adrenal, by the way, so Adrenal BR skin and so on. Also, we have a side look at the assault rifle MA40. There's also, for the first time, a side look at the Commando Rifle 2, which of course has the new skin, and there's lastly the pistol, the sidekick. Now, these are all objectively okay looking in my opinion, but I think that there's a big problem here, and I was really hoping that 343 didn't take this route, but it looks like they have. The fact that these skins are available in multiplayer tells me one thing: edgy skins are coming back, like they were in Halo 5. Do you guys remember the pizza skin? I know maybe in nature it was innocent, but I found it so irritating because it kind of broke any immersion that was left in multiplayer entirely. And I've said this a few times in the past, but I'll say it again: Halo should not have these goofy Gary's Mod themed stupid skins in them. All skins, if any, should be Halo themed, like for example an Oni covert assault rifle skin that is somewhat, if not entirely, accurate to lore, or a UNSC operative Magnum skin or ODST skin, or even cosmetic alterations to the physical model in the game that of course have no bearings or change on the weapon in the gameplay. For example, a new but different looking chin or nozzle added to the AR or commando weapon. I think when players are running around with a bunch of stupid looking skins, it kind of ruins the visual appeal of the game as well, at least for me. But besides my personal preference, I would say all this really means is that armor customization is going to have lots of different skins, and I think to add upon all of this, 343 is going to take what they did in Halo 5 and from what we've seen with the Mega Block toys and add skins to player models like the Spartans or even Elites if they're playable in the gameplay, which we'll talk about later in the video. But yeah, I think those are things you can really expect for the armor customization coming soon. So let's talk about the release date briefly. Last time we heard in August, the game was postponed and delayed to 2021. This was due to the eternal issues going on with Halo Infinite, considering that 343 is working from home and whatnot, and they said themselves that it's just not sustainable for the team to, well, finish Halo Infinite right now. But when is the game going to be pushed back? Alright, so we never got an official release date except for the holiday 2020 general time frame, but all signs are pointing to a holiday 2021, a full year or 11-month to 12 to 13-month delay, at least until now. A Twitter user, Josh Halo Memes, posted this image. Although this person does seem to make Halo memes, this could easily be faked. It's not a very hard image to replicate, and I would go verify this myself, but somehow I'm finding it hard to find Halo Infinite monster cans at the moment, but it's probably fake, considering that the skins I don't think are sent to you, but rather you type them out from your monster can receipt and put them on your Halo Waypoint account, and they're just automatically added to your account. So you have to play with that gamer tag on Halo Infinite to actually have these skins load into your account properly. But I'm pretty sure it's just not real, so I thought I'd debunk that first. Although I did think it was interesting to bring up, though, because I haven't really mentioned much the possibility of Halo Infinite releasing so soon in spring. You know, the only other big Halo game ever to release in spring was Halo Wars 2, and considering its marketing and the fact that it was a side game, I think it did pretty decent. I think it could have done much worse, but with Halo Infinite, everyone knows that this is the next big Halo game. It needs more marketing under its belt, honestly, and they need to really catch up with marketing. I think they need to really make sure everyone knows that this game is releasing soon, if it is coming in spring, but I don't think it would be that short of a delay. Only 4 to 6 months from the OG release date. I don't know if that's enough time for them to add and fix all the things that people have had trouble with, with the visuals and the lighting and things like that. Is that enough time? And even in that demo we saw, it was confirmed that that corner of the world was made to look much better than the rest, because of course it was going to be the demo, and so that has me concerned that was polished. I'm scared to see what the rest of the world looked like. I don't think it's bad, I just don't think it's going to impress us if it released in the way it is. But we do know that the team's productivity is suffering from, the issues going on right now, and I think they should take the full year. Let me know your own thoughts about this down in the comments. But speaking of comments, let's get to y'all's. Let's discuss the new Halo Infinite Elite main character, Jega Rdomnai. So, if you haven't heard the news, this elite you're seeing here is going to be hunting down Master Chief throughout Halo Infinite. This is so cool. So let's recap his description real quick and kind of talk about his looks and talk about y'all's comments, which y'all had some interesting things we just haven't discussed yet. So this is a mysterious and battle-ravaged Sinkili warrior. Jega represents one of the several new characters that we will encounter along our way throughout the Halo Infinite campaign, with each confrontation playing its own part in Chief's continuing journey. While today's introduction is just a quick glimpse, we hope it leaves you eager to learn more. Trust me, we can't wait for you to have the opportunity to explore more for yourself. So one thing I just want to say right off the bat, this is so interesting that he's holding an energy sword here, which makes me think that he's probably going to be using that a lot in the gameplay. And how is that going to work? If he's like a repeating boss fight similar like the Warden in Halo 5, if he's just coming at us with this energy sword, he should be pretty fast and pretty deadly. So I wonder how that is going to work in the gameplay. Could we see some possible energy sword on energy sword action here with Master Chief versus this elite? And I sure hope that it's a bit more personal than just him being given orders by Atriox. And also, speaking of that, this is what I talked about in my other video. This is very likely Atriox's number 2, his go-to henchman, right? So that would be pretty relevant, considering that it seems like Eshuram is just one of the generals, even though we do know that he'll be the overarching enemy throughout the story. Jega will probably be a little bit more confrontational, a little bit more, elusive in the shadows and hunting us down. And speaking of shadows, he is very likely a part of the Silent Shadow, which has a really interesting story. They were actually a part of the Halo Evolutions book, and so the Covenant would set traps and put silent shadows to basically hide to kill Spartans. And the Silent Shadow eventually were assigned to go assassinate Atriox, but he talked himself out of being assassinated. And it's very likely that Jega here has his arm ripped off, obviously, his mandible's missing. I think this was done by Atriox. I think Atriox whooped his butt and just tore this elite up and then convinced him to join him, which would be, for me, that would be a really cool to kind of demonstrate that he's a victim of Atriox. Sort of like how Thel 'Vadam was also a victim of the Covenant. You know, you kind of see the spiritual reboot happening here just a little bit. I imagine Atriox kind of being like the new prophets, although he's just one individual. And then we also have Jega here, which is hunting down Master Chief. And it's very similar to Halo 1, how the Arbiter was behind the scenes. He wasn't actively in the story, but in lore, he was in fact hunting down Master Chief. And I just love the parallel here, and I wonder if we could see a redemption arc with Jega and how he might turn on Atriox. Perhaps it might be him that ends up killing Atriox, or maybe Ashuram by the end. How cool would it be to see such a damaged, such a battle-worn elite like Jega here turn on the Banished and become our ally? And what other twist could 343 add into this? Maybe Jega betrays Master Chief, or maybe Master Chief betrays Jega. I wonder all the different possibilities, the new things that they can do with the story arc that could add a new layer to it so that they're not just repeating Halo 1 to 2 to 3. So, sorry, there's a lot to discuss. Cyber says, where is Halfjaw and the Arbiter? I am waiting. So Halfjaw, he's talking about the shipmaster. We saw him in Halo 2. He was helping the Arbiter. He was kind of secondary to the Arbiter. And so I wonder if there's going to be a similar theme with that, like what I was talking about moments ago with, Jega betraying the Banished. Yeah, I would love to see the Arbiter, obviously, and I think the Arbiter does have a place in the story. I don't want there to be too many characters. Obviously, we already heard that there's going to be several new characters in this story. But, one thing I actually didn't even talk about with the ring being destroyed, I wonder how Jega maybe had any part to play in Zeta Halo being destroyed, but also, where is Locke? It may have been Jega that killed Fireteam Osiris, or maybe injured, or even killed Blue Team. That would be pretty crazy. We do know throughout Halo Infinite's campaign, it's up for us to find out what happened in the past, how this ring got destroyed. So actually, like Halo 3 ODST, which will be mentioned in a comment here, we're kind of piecing things together and seeing the past as it happened, and how and what that means for our future. Fido says, not a fan of how you titled this one because all I read was the ex-spartan headhunter, and I seriously thought at first Chief was being chased by Spartans again. So yeah, this is something I discussed quite a bit recently, but I'll bring it up briefly again. Basically, my theory is that Cortana has a group called the Harbinger, or Harbingers, and this group is basically her personal army, and there might be Spartans a part of it hunting down Chief. I don't know maybe if that's entirely likely, but I do suspect that is how there are ex-Covenant members working along with the Banished that aren't technically a part of the Banished, that are separate but working together with the Banished. And so the Banished have maybe made some agreement with Cortana. And hell, there might be Spartans hunting down Chief, but not to arrest him, but rather to reconnect with him and join him. Like, for example, Blue Team. Blue Team might be floating around at a Halo installation, injured and lost just like Chief was before the pilot found him. Red Shadow says, God, please tell us this means customizable, playable elites at that. That'd be sick. That might be a reach. This Jega is just the campaign thing, but I would love for playable elites to be in the game. That was something that was so iconic with Halo 2 and 3, and considering that they're trying to take the best aspects of all the Halo games and put them into one for Halo Infinite, I think those were one of the things that were really iconic, even if I know that playable elites and multiplayer can kind of break SWAT and other, arena kind of competitive modes, so keep them out of those modes, it's not a big deal. Put them in social modes, more casual modes, I think would be perfectly fine. Steven says, what if the leader of Silent Shadow is still alive and helps Chief? Honestly, I'm starting to think that is probably Jega. Obviously, he has a very dark, dense past, and we can see that through his art design, and I can't wait to explore that and to see how he talks and what exactly his relationship with Chief will be. Will it be one of disdain and personal hatred, or will it be one that's just given by orders, which will be frustrating, honestly. I want to see something that is a little bit more, down to earth and personal, honestly. But yes, the leader of Silent Shadow, I wonder how the Silent Shadow as a group will tie in to Jega, because we'll probably learn that about his past and his backstory. Maybe by the end of the game, we'll know quite a bit about him. But the man on the street says, that Elite's armor looks dope. Helmet looks a bit goofy though. Would have been cool to see some variant of a Reach or Halo 3 helmet like Commando or Aesthetic. So I actually love those armors. Those are really cool armors that Bungie made back in the day. And I have been seeing this kind of repetitive. People have not been liking the helmet very much. And honestly, in my opinion, I think it looks alright. I think it looked kind of like, I don't know why I want to say it, but like Mayan. It looked kind of like Aztec-y to me. So I thought it was kind of interesting that he has like this kind of weird helmet, kind of makes him stand out. But I want to be heartbroken if it changed, you know. Keaton says, HaloFollower, Chief seems to have lost his memory to sort pieces of everything together. We've never really seen that in a Halo game before. And then Halo 3 ODST, am I a joke to you? So yeah, when I said that, I did not even think of Halo 3 ODST. That is something that is exactly what happened in ODST, and I think that is what was one of the best aspects of that game, and it makes perfect sense why 343 would take that from ODST, because I think as far as the campaign goes, that was one of the best things about the game, kind of putting together this mystery. How did I get here? You know, where is my team? I think we will see something very similar with Halo Infinite. We will find people and things like maybe we'll come across Blue Team or even Agent Locke or the Arbiter or other things or pieces or just memories the pilot might bring up that might remind Chief of what happened here and why it is so important for Chief to remember to be able to take back the ring, stop the Banished, and to save their home, and to realize how big the stakes are, because Chief said that there won't be a home if we don't stop the Banished. So we know that the stakes probably involve humanity and billions of lives, so everything is very important, and I wonder how that battle has to do with everything. But anyways, guys, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for commenting and letting me know your thoughts. Be sure to like this video up if you ended up enjoying the conversation, and I wish to talk more about Jega, because I feel like we only scratched the surface of this very interesting character, and I can't wait to see what the other several new characters are going to be in Halo Infinite. I'm very, very intrigued, and despite the game being delayed late and with the skins, I'm still very eager about the game, and I'm really excited to see what's next, honestly. But anyways, I'll catch you in the next one soon. All right, you take care. Peace.